Well, Recon is in the storm right now, Reconnaissance planes, and is currently finding some concerning readings, and satellite imagery has been somewhat concerning as well, looking at the storm's big blow-up in the last few frames. Not necessarily getting stronger, but certainly getting more expansive. My name's Nathan Foy, I'm joined by the Skype team. This hour we have 4 people with us, and they come and go as they please, just like you, I suppose, as a viewer. Devon, Isaac, Chobial Stormnuke, and Marcel are with me for this, at this hour at least. 1 o'clock UTC at the time, into Sunday. Is it Sunday? Tuesday. Why did I say Sunday? Tuesday morning, October 4th. At least
Hello.
here in the UK, anyway. Hi. And just joining us there, you see what I mean? Case in point, John is now here as well. Good evening, John.
Ooh, nice.
I decided to take a little break from my work to see how things are going.
Yes, very
Well,
quiet
Matthew.
in the background over there. Now, Stephen's
Yeah,
posted
Mike
a
stinks.
message here saying, President of Haiti, Jocelyn Privet, no idea on pronunciating that, urged residents Monday to leave these houses to take refuge in schools, churches, or any of the 1,300 other shelters the country has opened. Oh, okay, so they have coordinated such things. I didn't see any
Good to
evidence of
hear.
that online.
Yep, that's what I figured. They would be doing something like that, and pretty much what I said earlier in the stream, like about 2 hours ago when I was actually still on it.
But I wonder, how
Uh,
many people will actually listen to that? I just wonder about that.
That's very true. Communications systems in Haiti aren't the greatest, I'm going to assume.
Well, it's one of the poorest
no.
countries in the Western world.
Right, which
It's
doesn't help.
as the poorest country in the American continent.
mainly in the Western Hemisphere, mainly more or less. At the same time, I'm curious. I mean, a pressure drop, and the storm hasn't changed its wind speed. What does that really?
Well, not yet. It hasn't. The NHC might change their mind. Though, have Recon supported that at all, Devon? Do you think they might upgrade a 145 just to 5 miles an hour upwards?
I would
Yeah,
think that that's
possibly.
almost mandatory here, taking a
Really?
look at the Recon. Ooh, I think they might need 130.
What?
I think they might need 130.
Knots?
Yes,
150 miles an hour.
Ooh.
I think
that's
they
quite
might need
possible.
it. They're probably going to go with 125, but or 145 miles an hour.
Yeah,
But
just curious on every single new satellite image that comes in, just to see what that eye is up to. If the eye's dying and disappearing, then this is gonna be a short-term
finding on
blow-up.
Recon is the question.
But if-
What's going on underneath the overcast? By the way,
Yeah.
actually, someone just shared our live stream right now on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Live Media Guide shared us on Facebook, so thank you for doing that.
Good to know.
It looks like the warmest temperature the drops onto measured so far has been in the upper 20s Celsius.
Oh.
Actually,
Inside
25.
the eye?
Yeah.
Oh my, that is significant.
Yeah.
And that's recent, is it?
25.8, Nathan.
That's remarkable. Now,
Our
the
age is
satellite,
almost 100%.
the satellite imagery doesn't
Oh.
say anything like that. So, if that's a fact, then the temperature of the eye is in the 20s right now. That's at least a borderline Cat 5.
Yes, it absolutely would be. Actually, if the eye temperature was in the 20s, it would be a Cat 5 by satellite appearance.
I didn't want to say that, but that's pretty much the reality of it. I mean, we can only say we can only talk about the data that's put in front of us here.
Ooh.
Well, the data that's being put in front of me right now is I've got 2 distinct peaks on flight level winds here. One of them is at least 150 miles per hour flight level, and usually with storms of this strong, that are this strong, flight level and ground level winds are almost the same. Sorry about that.
Could the storm push 130 plus past?
I
next
think
couple
it's already
hours?
doing that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we're in somewhat uncharted territory here.
Yeah.
The imagery in the last couple of frames here has shown Matthew's eye to pretty much have shrunk again, but this could be it reforming a pinhole.
Well,
in
listen,
terms
it's one of
pressure.
two things right now. The eye is shrinking and dying, and you'd expect an eye wall replacement cycle is taking place, or it's shrouded by higher level cloud, which is possible, but who knows. And the brutal reality may be yet to shock us, unfortunately. I don't want to
Right.
say too much about this until we get any concrete information, but
Yeah.
this could be a very, well, it's getting close already, and you can, the core of the storm, Devon, on the edge of that, the edge of the storm's core there where those cold cloud tops are, what do you reckon the wind speeds will be as the edge just comes into Haiti there in the next hour or two?
That's probably going to be the edge of the 60-mile-per-hour wind field.
Right.
Here's the current Recon, not Recon, fail, or microwave imagery of Matthew right here.
Recon,
See,
Recon, microwave, about the same thing.
Okay.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
go
Except they're
right now.
totally different.
It's been a good stream. Thanks. Good night.
night.
Good night, Nuke.
I just had a facepalm worthy moment here. First,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Let's tell us what we're looking at, John.
there's microwave imagery of Matthew right now in the last 45 minutes. It looks jumpy. That's because it is because the loop I'm looking at right now is only 45 minutes, so that's why it looks jumpy, and very short. At the same time, it looks like that almost like the southern eye wall is kind of not in very good shape. It looks like based off microwave imagery.
Yeah.
I mean, the northern eye wall looks just fine, but the southern one just doesn't look like it's in good shape. We take a look in the past day or so. You can see here that
Okay.
obviously it's just the southern eye wall just hasn't been up to par in this system at all.
And then the northern eye wall got weak for a while. Well, maybe not.
Light level winds 128 and 127 knots respectively.
And into plain
Look
English, what would
closer
that
here.
suggest?
145 to 150 mile per hour in the radius of maximum winds in the storm.
If you look here on the microwave imagery here I'm showing you, you can see that for a brief moment in time, looks like there's a second eye wall is trying to form here, so it almost
Difficult to
attempted.
discern what exactly happened right there.
It could have been attempting to do an eye wall replacement cycle. I
It
doubt
did.
it.
No, it did. It went
It-
full on the eye wall replacement cycle. Saw very clear as day on radar. That's exactly what you just witnessed there. Complete EWRC. Wow.
And a new eye
That's
just formed.
impressive that it did that so close to land too.
Then again, Devin, this is the tropics. Then again, this system is pretty small. There's definitely it doesn't look like it has any dry air problems except for the western
Small,
side.
but
of it.
it's grown.
Oh, it's increased in size.
Compare that first frame to the last frame.
Oh dear, this system has gotten pretty big. The
You know,
last
it's
couple
almost
frames.
twice the size it was at the beginning.
Explaining the pressure drop. It has increased in size. That explains the pressure change here. Comparing to when it was at peak, 140 knot, 940 millibars to now being 120, 125 or so knots, and 934 millibars. So it has definitely strengthened in terms of pressure, but in terms of wind speed, not a whole lot. It's just more or less expanded. Wind field.
Virtually, yes.
There have been twin 934 millibar measurements in the eye.
Ooh, that means that
Back-to-back Recon passes stated 934 millibars, John.
so definitely consistent system is being more or less, and it looks like On both eye passes, yeah, we're looking at on both passes. The first pass though had winds of at least 125 knot, if not greater, at flight level, and then the second pass had consistent 125 knot winds on both sides of the eye, if not greater. I just don't see an exact wind speed measurement here on this graphic I'm looking at for the that has just the graphs of the MSLP and flight level wind. I can't really tell if that's 130. It's hard to tell. The gravity scale is just so bad on my.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just the graphing scale was just too expanded. I can't tell if this is saying 125 knots or
Stephen
100.
raises a point saying winds lag a pressure fall. Wind speeds will pick up in an hour or two. Would you agree?
That is 100% true. And that's why we're looking at the Recon. The pressure drop is likely. The pressure drop is likely due to the change in the size of the storm, not necessarily due to the change in winds. But yes, that is usually the case.
I kind of
the wind increases.
I want to notice here on the satellite imagery here. Let me show you this. Anyone notice the fact that the CDO almost doubled in size here?
Well, look at that. You look at that imagery there. I'm just concerned that, people. One person on our team in particular always cries "pinhole eye," but this time it could be true.
Very true. I mean, and at the same time,
It's
look
one
what
or
happened.
the other. It's doing something really nasty underneath that cloud cover, or the eye's dying, and it doesn't seem to be the latter, based off the Recon.
And look at this. I mean, look at the CDO just doubling in size, almost. I mean, that's a very, very strong ring of cloud tops around the eye, if anything. So I doubt it's weakening under under all these conditions I just listed. I mean, the CDO just doubled. Number one. Number two, the eye is pretty much. No offense to anyone here, it's shrunk. And even though, again, we said pinhole eye kind of thing, I mean, it's possible. The eye could be buried under convection here. But it's really. I mean, we need more Recon. We need more eye panels to really tell.
Nathan, drop sun directly in the eye.
Right.
We have 936 millibars with the wind at 10 miles per hour, rather, and an eye temperature of 28 centigrade.
Oh, goodness me. You're talking high 20 Celsius eye. That almost always means a Category 5. Now, we can't say that it's a Category 5. We don't really have any evidence, not least with winds. But you've got to fear for Haiti right now. If we're talking about... Go ahead.
A drop sun in the radius of maximum winds has 950 millibar winds at 145 miles per hour, and that's just above the surface.
Well, where do we go from here? Is the question. The storm appears to be under some sort of an intensification process that we aren't exactly sure of the extent of it.
It should also be noted that winds at the 932 millibar level are 164 miles per hour, and maximum winds going high enough up into the system are 195 miles per hour.
Oh my.
That's all the way up in the 920 millibar region. Still decently high up off the ground, but still ridiculous.
And the plane's still in there and going to get some more readings?
I hope so. I think it's coming back around here. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to be coming back around for at least one more reading. But latest information here, especially drop number 7, is very, very, very interesting. concerning this storm.
Well, we'll keep you posted on the Recon letter. Shall we talk about the warnings that are in effect right now? It's been a little while since we mentioned those, and we have to reiterate every so often here the warnings. They recently issued a hurricane warning for the central Bahamas. I don't have all the warnings in front of me, so I'm just going off memory here. The northern Bahamas under a hurricane watch, the rest of the Bahamas under a hurricane warning, and the Turks and Caicos Islands still under a hurricane watch, I believe. Jamaica downgraded a few hours ago from a hurricane warning to a hurricane watch, but to a tropical storm warning, but I think they should be watching for hurricane conditions just in case, particularly in the east. Haiti obviously under a hurricane warning, eastern Cuba likewise, and a little bit further towards central Cuba there's a few hurricane watches there too. Dominican Republic near the Haiti border expect tropical storm conditions, in essence tropical storm warning for, I think it's for that whole peninsula that juts out at the south there. I'm sure that's got a name as well. Conditions probably deteriorating over southern Haiti right now, and it isn't going to get much better for quite some time yet. And if our worst fears are realised in these hours, we could be looking at something quite phenomenal and in a bad way. But we hope that that is not the case. Not only with the storm's intensity, but with its effects on land. Hopefully people were able to heed the warnings in the communications there in Haiti, and that they actually did so, and indeed in all those other locations too. But the time's getting pretty close now as the storm's outer edges approach Haiti. It's going to happen, well, an hour or two until it gets 60-mile-an-hour winds, Devon said, and a few more hours, 3 or 4 hours, hurricane force winds, major hurricane force winds for that western tip of the peninsula. Current time here, 1:18 Universal Time, 9:18 on the US East Coast. Who'd like to go next?
And it's amazing how we're having a storm hit Haiti. Hopefully they're already prepared for this, as it's about to bear down on them really bad with all this rain and everything, mudslides, landslides, all that stuff.
Another iPass here.
Okay, John, what's this? Is this new?
Not really much in terms of aircraft data. We got a couple more wind points, but mainly we're waiting for another iPass here. Hopefully we can get another iPass in before the 11 o'clock, maybe 2, hopefully. Praying for 3.
I believe so.
11 o'clock would be, great. Other than that, we can take a look at the current storm. We can take a look at the model plume. I want to take a look at the zeroth model plume, which I wanted to see for a while. And it's trending a bit more off the sea. It's been doing a flip-flop.
That's recent then.
That's the most recent model plume, yeah.
Devon, you've been looking at these. Don't you think that's trended westward slightly again overall?
Yep.
Yeah.
The northern half is trended eastwards. I think the models or plume here is showing that the trough is not expected to pull Matthew in as much. The interaction is not supposed to be as significant as the last run is stated. They can pull
that is just an incredibly weird track.
Here's the 18Z one from yesterday.
You can see here the whole model spread there, Devon, or were you looking at a particular track?
Just the consensus is just weird.
You compare this here. It won't let me take these up. Open new tab. Here's the. Here is the 18Z. Here is the 0Z.
So that's the comparison. Oh yes, that's clearly another shift to the west. However,
down here primarily, but up here.
Yeah, up there it's gone east. So that's interesting.
I mean, this could shift west once again. Just saying.
Yeah, it could. It could shift east. We don't know, and we're looking at the models, and that's what they're saying. So I expect the next National Hurricane Center cone in their forecast that they will be doing in 1 hour and a half, will have that cone shifting further west and a stronger storm as well. And who knows what Recon will find between now and 11 o'clock on the East Coast.
Alright, I'm back.
0Z model run of this, but you can take a look at the 18Z of the HWRF.
Welcome back,
Waiting on
Hank.
the 0Z.
I'm back now.
Here.
Welcome
Hi,
back.
Hank.
Latest IR, Nathan. I'd take a look at it.
916.
I'll get onto it.
940 something. 940. Ooh,
Ooh.
Landfall in Carolinas. And God model
But it-
stop there.
8 p.m. advisory is out.
Yeah.
I officially
That's
have
a long
no
time
idea
ago.
what this storm's doing.
Yeah.
No, nor do I, Devon. That is baffling. I don't know if anyone.
I'm dumbfounded.
I'm the definition of dumbfounded over here.
I don't know if anyone could show us that latest infrared frame. I can't do it on this monitor here. But
What type of infrared do you want?
well, the latest, ideally.
No, like, out of all these.
I don't know, the one that depicts cloud tops mostly.
It's up
Have a
on
look.
my screen, Nathan.
Oh.
What is it doing? That's just.
That's just odd. What is going on
We'd
here?
be able to make more sense of it if it wasn't for the Recon observations there.
Is this storm
Well,
trying
again,
to...
the recon observation. Now, just to think, 2 to 3 hours ago, we were saying that the northern eye wall looked horrible.
Yeah, and it did. It did. It's
And now take a look at the northern eye wall.
well, and that's awful because Haiti's right there. And
I mean,
it's,
this,
No doubt.
this storm has just been baffling for its whole existence.
I know.
I mean,
What's the-
Yeah, John, I think that'd be a bit of an understatement.
of course it's an understatement. And at the same time, I'd like to note that the HWRF at the 18Z run stated that it would be about in the 930s and 920s at this point in terms of pressure. So they were expecting a re-strengthening in the Cat 5, but I don't think that's Cat 5. I think it's still a solid high-end Cat 4 at the minimum. But
I have
NHC if the NHC decide to just say, well, screw it, we'll call it a Cat 5 at 11 o'clock advisory, I will not be surprised.
I have determined that those 145 mile per hour winds took place at an altitude of 18 meters.
ooh.
Right close to the surface.
Well, they actually flew at that altitude?
Dropsund.
Oh, good. I'd be worried.
We're gonna fly at low altitude because, you know, we want surface winds, not flight level winds, you know. We're trying to do a bit more extreme on our observations. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll just get the floats out and land. We may as well. Yeah.
You know, we're the first plane that goes down in a tropical cyclone in
Gosh.
history. Oh dear. I can't believe
Safely, yes.
The 195 mile per hour winds are about 250 meters above the surface.
What? Repeat that.
What?
Say that again.
The 195 mile per hour winds that the Dropsund measured are 260 meters above the surface.
Oh, goodness.
Meaning...
Yeah, what would
I
that...
have it right here that the Dropsund record 168 knot winds at the 924 millibar level, and that's about 260 meters above the Earth's surface.
And what does that correspond to?
Like how tall of an object would be 260 meters above the Earth's surface?
Well, what does it mean in terms of the storm?
Oh,
Basically, at the Empire State Building's top height, the winds are blowing at 200 miles an hour.
Oh my.
That's what he's saying. Right, Devin? Essentially?
if you were in a skyscraper, that's
God.
a quarter of a kilometer up into the sky. I mean, pretty far up.
Just imagine if that was hitting Taipei 101. Oh
I was
dear.
just thinking about that.
Hey, great minds think alike. Is it a Cat 5? No, it's not a Cat 5. It's still a Cat 4 by SatOps. It's just there are conflicting signals going on here.
Certainly
We're
is.
trying. We're getting conflicts, but on what the satellite is telling us and what the Recon is telling us, which is pretty odd to say the least.
It's been doing that ever since this storm intensified into a Cat 4 as well.
It's an odd storm.
Definitely.
This storm has defied every prediction, and this is just some next level BS going on here. I don't know what's going on.
This is next level crud.
I don't know if Puerto Rico got their natural disaster generator out, or I don't know what's going on here with this storm, but it's something else.
That's something else. Yes, definitely something to really think about and contemplate and really laugh nervously at, because frankly, I'm just freaking baffled beyond belief what this system has been doing.
Yeah.
It's throwing me a complete wrench.
I definitely haven't been this concerned about a storm making landfall since Patricia and the East Pacific. Luckily, that did nothing. Thank God that made landfall where nobody lives. But unfortunately, this is not going to be the case.
Yeah. Second one.
Complete wrench into what my brain is thinking.
Sorry?
This storm has thrown me a complete wrench
Oh,
in
yeah.
my head. I mean,
It's
one of those storms that it's just one of those storms I'm never gonna. I'm gonna look back and say, "Oh yeah, I tracked that."
Well, we all are, and, you know, as always, we witness history here, and it appears to be happening again.
I mean, this track is something I've never seen before. I think the models have struggled the most on this storm. None of them got the track right. None of them got the intensity right. All came close, but all missed hilariously. There's just the guidance on this, the model guidance, the 72-hour accuracy has gone out the window. I mean, anything more than 3 days, you're going to be saying, oh yeah, that's not going to be accurate. Because frankly, I think at this point, our model accuracy is at best 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at worst,
I don't
48
know.
hours.
Could someone bring up that National Hurricane Center cone again? I want to show that to everyone once more here if you've not seen it yet. Here it comes. So there's the cone out to 3 days. Now we've always got to point out what that the center of the storm could go anywhere in that cone on that 3 day point. Draw a line from that
I
M.
am back.
Yes, welcome back. Draw a line from the M to either side of that cone, and that's anywhere that the storm could be centered at in 3 days' time. So it could be just a handful of miles off the coast of
tropical storm
Miami,
and hurricane force winds extend far beyond that center. So,
or
Also,
it could go entirely to the east of that cone and miss Florida completely, which is why I don't think there should be a 60% chance of tropical storm force winds in Orlando, as some media outlets are saying.
yeah.
There's one thing I want to point out here is that cone is a 67% chance of basically that center landing anywhere within that cone within that time period, mainly, and there's a 34%, by that logic, not 34, 33% chance that a storm can just completely go outside of that cone and do whatever it wants. I mean, for 67% confidence, I mean, that cone is pretty big for 3 days out. I mean,
though if you're in the Bahamas, it's doesn't look like a good week.
It looks like you might want to cancel all your vacation flights to the Bahamas this week, because frankly, do you want to go into a place where you'll get, I don't know, 100 knot plus winds, a lot of rain, flooding?
Yeah. And not forgetting all the people who live there, John.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously, you could put yourself in way more harm than just staying at home and reading.
I would personally position myself on Eleuthera Island to intercept the storm because that island's received all the major hurricanes and whatever that moves through the Bahamas. So, I mean, that thing's received landfalls from Andrew, Floyd, Irene, Michelle, you name it. If it's traveled through the Bahamas, it's more than likely made landfall in Eleuthera Island.
Yeah.
Isn't the last storm to hit Haiti, wasn't that Hurricane Isaac in 2012?
Yes, as a tropical storm.
Yeah.
The last hurricane to make landfall in Haiti was Gustav back in 2008. Last major to hit Haiti was Inez back in 1966. And the last Cat 4 to hit Haiti was Cleo of 1964. And the common thing between all of those storms is that none of them were traveling at the angle that this storm is traveling.
Really odd angle, definitely. Real odd angle.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a storm in Haiti like this before, in my memory at all.
That's kind of because it hasn't happened at least since 1851.
Exactly.
It just hasn't happened, John.
I mean, what we're looking at is something that is unprecedented, I'm assuming. Here.
Unprecedented in the modern record.
Very unprecedented.
150, 160 years of records, but it is only a tiny fraction of the Earth's existence. But yeah, as far as Haitians have lived, it's going to be one of the worst, if not the worst, in living memory.
And at the same time, just imagine what we're going to be talking about this thing like 5 days out from now. We're going to be discussing the same storm, but in a different location, doing different things. I mean...
Oh, the discussion's not going to stop with this storm for the next week.
Well, that's it. You're looking at it. It's going to be within 100 miles of land areas for the next 5 days, probably. Potentially.
Maybe even for the next week. Maybe even for the next 7-8 days. We're talking that this storm's going to be significantly impacting land.
It's just looking like the storm is heading up to the storm of the year. It looks like in the Atlantic.
Well, yeah, the storm of the year in the Atlantic, certainly. I still consider storm of the year to be Winston. That's going to be a hard storm to.
Yeah, that's
going to be a hard storm to pass. But oh boy, if this thing lives. Of course, this thing can just be like David, and just not affect Haiti at all somehow.
Oh, it is.
So,
miracle.
I mean, it could just shock us all.
I mean, this thing is just... I mean, it could do a lot of strange things. It could just stall. It could just blow right through there. It could just shift to the west. I mean, what the heck? It could shift to the east.
I will say Recon is heading back to the center now, and we should be getting at least a radius of maximum winds reading in 10 minutes, hopefully an eye passage in 20 minutes. And after that, I will have to leave again.
Shame.
Yeah.
Sarah wants to know how far away in miles that this storm is from Haiti. I will calculate that for you as soon as possible.
Not far.
I will calculate that for you in just a moment.
Probably statute miles would be great. I'm assuming for that person. They're asking for miles.
Yes, absolutely. So let me give you a rough estimate then. On the latest satellite image, which was 0:45, so that is nearly an hour ago, the storm was located somewhere. Yeah, you'll have to come back to me on that one.
Alright.
I'd estimate around 100 miles from land. The eye, that is. The eye is 100 miles from land.
Oh, good Lord, Nathan.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like good news. But just to finish
No.
off there, the minus 70-degree cloud tops begin, as of an hour ago, the 70-degree cloud tops begin 13 miles off the Haitian coast. Devon, over to you.
Well, I've got 2 batches of bad news up on the screen share right now.
Okay, what does it depict?
Well, the latest frame that's come out, maybe 3 batches of bad news, because we have the black cloud tops, which are roughly minus 65 Celsius. They're coming onshore the Tiburon Peninsula now. So I would basically suggest if you're on the Tiburon Peninsula in Haiti, whatever preparations you have made.
Oh, it's time to get indoors and hunker down.
Yeah, it is officially too late, I would say. Second issue, that minus 70 CDO has wrapped fully. It seems like it's degrading, but we've got the dark, the medium gray cloud tops rather, starting to wrap fully around a clearing eye.
Yes, I think it's too late for evacuating anything.
Of course.
Just this latest frame says bad news, just bad news.
Well, that's Devon's take, and I wouldn't really disagree with it. But
you know what stinks right now? I have no radar on Haiti right now, which kind of stinks because I wanted to see this storm structure at the lower levels.
And that was the 045 image you were looking at, the one that said the minus 70 cloud tops were 13 miles off. Didn't look much to me. But I wait to see the next image, which should be due in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll be looking out for the next image. And in just over an hour...
The image that showed up on the screen was the 115.
Oh, I didn't see that. Well, maybe I did. But I've not seen the 115 yet. But in just over an hour, the National Hurricane Center will be updating as well, so we'll be keeping you abreast of that information too. So, Recon, what are they up to now? Still in the storm, I imagine, the planes.
Waiting. We are waiting desperately. Probably 5 minutes. We'll start to receive, hopefully, radius of maximum winds data. They're probably not going to get all the way through the eye in the next 5 minutes. It will take another 10 or 15 minutes for that data to come fully through, and probably another 20 minutes until the drop data comes through.
Guys,
go ahead.
I have a problem right here, and here's the problem. This is all the radar feed I can get. Unfortunately, I don't see Matthew in any of these radar feeds.
I can't look at the screen right now, so someone will have to help me there.
Essentially, we are blind at the lower levels of this system. And the best we can get is probably the flight Recon radar. We want to take a look at the storm's lower level structure, but basically we have no radar in the system, so we're essentially at the lower levels blind.
Check the radar links that I just posted and see if they help you, John.
And I just want to make a quick note on Chaba. Day has broken there. I think it's slight northwestward movement looking at the latest. And the eye has, I couldn't see it close up, but it appears to have run into trouble, let's say. And it's on a weakening trend now as it heads towards Japan. Yes, there is another storm out there. And that was a Category 5 less than 24 hours ago.
Something that we desperately hope that this storm is not.
Yes, that's right. Okay, let's see. Jadane Murray says, could the tropical storm warning be upgraded back to hurricane warning? I think they're talking about Jamaica.
unlikely. I think the hurricane conditions are going, at least the sustained hurricane conditions are going to stay offshore for Jamaica.
Yeah, it did seem like a silly decision, in my opinion, to take down the hurricane warnings when the closest part of the storm hadn't passed.
Looks like the plane is about to make another penetration into the eye.
I've already discussed that, John. We should be getting data in that for about 3 to 4 minutes.
So there we are. Stay tuned for the latest.
Crossing fingers that is good data. Hoping.
Right.
It looks like it's crawling ever so closer to Haiti right now. So
Certainly is.
stay tuned.
Now,
essentially.
the 115
I think
image
that-
has come out on RAM, and Devon, yes, the eye is opening up again. And let's conduct a SATOPS on this. I've not conducted a proper one for a while. So let's see what Force 13's satellite processing system says.
What do you mean by the eye is opening up? Is it like weakening, or is it just like the eye is appearing on satellite image
It's
again?
appearing better, but then you've had those curious drop-ons that said 28 Celsius eye. If that's... I'm going to do two
That's
measurements here.
ludicrous.
I'm going to do two measurements right here, because eye temperature can mean a lot for the storm's intensity when
Yes.
working it out. So, the SATOPS without the eye temperature factored in, the measured eye temperature, it is going to be no more than 125 miles an hour. But if you factor in that eye temperature, it rises to category 5 intensity.
Easily.
And potentially 165 as well.
Yes, I am very nervous about this latest recon in. The eye does appear to be opening up, and if that overcast goes without the eye, well, first off, what a rapid intensification it just made, because earlier today it was barely a Cat 4, probably a Cat 3, and low end at best, and boy, just the intensification that it's done in the past 6
Yeah,
hours is impressive enough.
Looks like Recon is in the center right now.
So here we
from
go.
the Recon. So haven't gotten a reading yet, but it looks like they're about to get into the center. We're in the center right now.
Yeah, Recon is about to enter the center, and they're already finding 937 millibars, and they still have hurricane force winds at flight level.
Well, wow, hurricane force winds at flight level. Would have never thought that one.
Okay, rethink my question for a minute, okay? So before you say something very smart, okay. So 937.2, while they still have hurricane force winds.
Ah, okay. So that's probably going to drop down further, probably down to the lower 930s as it's been. And flight level winds, at least in the southwestern eye wall, which has been the weakest part of the storm consistently, 115 knots. So consistently, the southwestern eye wall has been letting this storm down, and I think we won't really see how strong this storm is for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that's why you should let me finish my sentence.
That's going to be a long wait.
Well,
And lots of, well, I shouldn't say lots of people have asked this today, and someone else says whether it's going to hit Florida or not.
No, it's too early to tell.
hang on
I've
to
said it
your...
like 50 times. Okay.
Yeah, well, we have to reiterate it. People come in and out.
Yeah.
Florida
Yeah.
landfall is somewhat unlikely. Florida being affected by the storm, I would say that is to say tropical storm force winds in Florida, maybe 50 or 60% along the coast at the moment. I know that some media outlets that we've seen earlier said 60% for Orlando, never mind along the coast, which I think is a bit excessive at this point.
Looking at
definitely.
right now, looks like winds 60, 937, 28. You already told me that. I'm waiting for more data.
I think that was Lee who just joined the call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, me and David have just joined.
Where have you guys been?
And I'm not sure whether David has
We've had that chat elsewhere.
any further news on the storm. He's usually the one monitoring the wires.
I did post in another room. I'll just quickly go. A very thought-provoking statement from a mayor, I think, over in Haiti, saying, "Get out, get out, get out," and that's to those in the slum region, which I think isn't a very good statement to say. So, the local mayor has told people to relocate, but the question is, where do they go?
The whole country's in trouble, it would appear.
Devin had to leave, so.
So, Anna says, is Florida advised to prepare? So, we all know about the state of emergency that was put into effect for Florida. I'd rather call it a state of preparedness.
Yes.
It's
More or less.
it's the nasty word that they use that whips everyone into a frenzy. And,
Scares
Emergency! State of emergency! Yeah, that kind of
that's
frenzy.
right. But it's only a state of, I would say, a state of preparedness, and that's how everyone should be treating it in Florida. People should be. I don't think people should even particularly act yet. As Hank said earlier, they should check their hurricane preparedness kit, and they should be thinking about what would they need to prepare for the storm. Do they know where everything is if they need it during a hurricane? They should be thinking about those sorts of things. Do they know where they're going to go if they're going to evacuate, and that sort of thing. And then if it becomes apparent that the storm's going to arrive, and we'll find out in a day or two, minimum, then is the time to actually put the preparations into motion and into action and actually do those things and
Mainly, yes.
activate, I suppose. So at the
Waiting
moment you
for
should be
more
doing
data.
more thinking than anything.
Using that brain power.
Yeah.
And adding to what Nathan just said, and it's good to be here and just monitoring the Twitter platform. Prepare for Matthew, review your evacuation route, fill your gas tank, bring lightweight items indoors, so if you've got any loose objects outside, secure them or bring them indoors, and if you've got pets, make a plan to look after your pets.
Yeah, clearly. That is a very good decision to make. Same time, again, still waiting on that recon data. It's just, stinks that this is not instantaneous, but, what is in this world? Not a whole lot. Okay, listen, internet's a thing, alright? But internet does not work like, what's the phrase? Speed of light. It doesn't work like that. It takes a while to load.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're just gonna be patient until the data comes in. I'm gonna refresh my imagery here, and definitely, latest imagery is saying the storm is definitely still as dangerous as it was. Very potent system.
Okay. Yeah, there's not really anything to reply to on the comments right now. As we near the end of the 6th hour of live coverage that we have been doing here. I didn't know how long we were going to run this stream for at the outset. I thought initially maybe 2 or 3 hours, but it's quite apparent that people want to see the stream continue, and a lot of people tuning in this evening and obviously want to know about the storm. We will be staying here for as long as we feel we're required, and whether that be for continuously for quite a long time. I don't want to speculate how long we will stay here on the air, and I don't know whether we will maybe break it up with an hour's break or something at some point during tonight, but we'll always be showing you something on the stream here in terms of the satellite imagery and the latest visual representation of the storm. But guys, in the last few minutes of this hour, anything you'd like to add? Anything you've noticed with the storm and opinions?
Not really.
It's been a remarkable storm.
Recon
Just the way it's going. Yeah,
Recon should
it's
be
truly
heading-
remarkable in the fact that how it shortly intensified to a Category 5 storm, and then now it's trying to possibly complete an eyewall placement, and then maybe try intensifying a bit more before getting land interaction and hitting Haiti, and sadly probably causing lots and lots of deaths and damage from the storm getting closer, hitting the island of Haiti. So
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
And the National Weather Service over in Wilmington, NC, is this is an hour ago. Matthew, as we know, is a Cat 4, possibly reach Cat 5 status.
It is possible,
However,
and we can't play that down as much as we'd like to. It is a possibility right now.
That's right. And the slower it goes, the chances increase.
I didn't
And
suggest anyone was, sorry.
Continuing from the NWS Wilmington, winds are expected 140 miles per hour, expecting the Inner Carolina coast late Friday, Saturday. And I've also put out a media briefing too. I'll just open that one up.
Someone wants us to talk models. We will at the next hour, but if we started now, we wouldn't have enough time to show them all before we took a short 5-minute break, as we do at the end of every hour here. So
I need a break.
Sorry?
I need a break.
You need a break.
Can I just continue with this NWS media release?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, guys. Maritime impacts expected to be high to extreme later in the week. South-southwest swells from Matthew could begin impacting the beaches by Thursday, combining with other easterly swells. Soil saturation from early heavy rainfall events could come into play later this week. Areas possibly to be impacted: Lumberton, Florence, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington are 150, 200% above normal over the last 30 days. As a result, any heavy rainfall from Matthew could quickly lead to flash flooding.
Probably already is right now.
Yep. Potential impacts, given the uncertainty in the forecast, it's too early to say what specifically will occur after Hurricane Matthew moves north of the Bahamas.
Looks
Other
like
than
Recon.
Yep.
Looks like Recon. From what I'm looking at, it looks like Recon either barely missed the center or went through it, but the drop zone hasn't loaded in yet, so I don't know about that. So
We'll
we have to
on that info.
verify that.
Flight level wind is zeroed on the Recon, so they hit the center dead on.
Wow. Oh yeah, I see it there. Yeah, they
David,
definitely.
was
looks
there
like
any
they
more
did.
there?
Yes, uncertainty. Talking about the models, this is the National Weather Service. Uncertainty increases over time, with the models diverging some as the storm moves across the Bahamas. Overall, some of the operational models have shifted to the west compared to the previous one. And as we know, tropical cyclones can and do deviate from the model consensus. And they're just saying, please refer to the NHC.
Okay.
There is a little bit more, but they're the main points.
We'll talk about that more in the next hour. We're going to take a break now, 5-minute break here at Force 13, and stay tuned. We'll have more on Matthew as recon data comes in, and we'll find out whether it is indeed strengthening into, dare we say it, a potential Category 5 again. Who knows, but we'll see. Stay tuned.
We'll be back.